Hello, 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 everybody. How are you doing? I know I'm here alone. I'm holding on to, waiting for my guest to join. My computer, for some reason, has decided to act up, so I'm going to be using my phone for the meantime. And because of that, you might not be seeing like comments and things like that because I've never used my phone before. But how are you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing great. And how is your week going as well? So while we wait for our guest today, if you can please rep yourself in the comment section, rep yourself in the, where are you watching from? Where are you joining from? Let us know in the comment section. All right. I'm here in Toronto, and let me know where you're watching from while I try to reconnect to my computer. Okay, give me a second. You might see me twice, and then I'll try to get out of it, the one on my phone. All right. Okay, I think I'm getting. All right, so now I can log on my phone. All right. So yeah, how has your Sunday been, guys? Mine have been down with a little bit of a cold, so you could be hearing that in my voice as we go along. But yeah, I've been down with a cold for almost 3 days now, and now the internet is planning to disrupt my show. So please, as I said, rep yourself in the comment section. If you are with us, rep yourself in the comment section and let us know where you're watching from. I'm gonna type where I'm hosting from is Toronto, Canada, Toronto, Ontario. All right. And the fun part about this is the first time I'm trying to stream on 3 different channels. Hi, let me add my guest to the stream. Hello, Dr. Addy.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm fine. Nice to finally meet you.
Thank you for having me. Nice to meet you.
It's an honor to meet you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you as well.
Nice to meet you. So I'm trying to get people to join. My internet has been a little bit messy, so I was trying to go from phone to computer. But yeah. So how was your Sunday?
It's going well, busy, but it's good to be here.
Yeah, it's good to
How's
be here.
yours going?
I have a little bit of a cold, so that's going on. But
Sorry.
this is very important, and I was like, I'm not missing it for the word, especially because it's I know you're very busy, so I wanted to make sure that I milk this time that I have with you.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm just gonna
You
introduce.
sent me the YouTube channel. Maybe I could put it up on my story, so if people from my they'll just click on the link and be able
Yeah,
to.
okay, I would send it again now.
All right.
Give me a second. Okay, I just sent it.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, I will just start by introducing our wonderful guest today. Dr. Adeola Olubamiji is an Industry 4.0 expert. She's one of the few women who has indeed harnessed the power of technology, specifically 3D printing, to navigate and thrive in the North American job market. She's currently the director of Additive Manufacturing Solutions at Desktop Metal, Massachusetts, USA. In June 2017, Dr. Addy received a PhD in Biomedical Engineering from the University of Saskatchewan, Saskatoon, Canada, and made history as the first Black person to have received this PhD from the university, which is awesome. She is the chief consultant at Tech Centrix Ltd, Canada and USA, the founder of STEMHub Foundation in Canada, and she sits on the board of several organizations. Dr. Addy has mentored over 700 professionals navigating their careers and educational pursuits in the North American, Europe, Australia, UK, Africa, and Asia job market. There's more about Dr. Addy in the description. You can check Dr. Addy out and read all about her in the description as well. So, how have you been doing? And I'm so honored that you're on this show, as I said.
Thank you. Thank you for having
Last we're excited about this, and a lot of people are excited as well.
me. Awesome. Thank you, everyone. Hi. I can't really see you guys, but I know you're there.
So, before we go into the questions, I'm just gonna do like the little intro for welcome back, everybody, and thank you so much for staying tuned to this program. So, my first question to you, Dr. Addy, we have your official bio in the description so that people can go read up about you and see like all the wonderful things you've done, everything you've achieved as a strong Black woman, and all the people that you've brought along with you as well as you climb up the ladder. Because that's the fantastic thing about you. You're not just climbing the ladder by yourself, you're bringing everybody that you're able to touch along with you. And that is fantastic. Not too many people out there are able to share the knowledge and, their strategies with other people, which is fantastic. So, can you share with us like your vision of why you started to mentor people? Because when I read your bio, it says that you've mentored more than 700 people in their career. What's that like? Can you share that vision with us? What made you start mentoring people and be a coach?
All right. So I don't think I have a specific vision. I just feel like there is a pain point, right? So for our community, what I saw, especially when people migrate, is that I saw the pain point. I saw that most people, after they migrate into a new country, they will be told, oh, go and start from the bottom. They'll be told, oh, there's this maniac job that you can get started with, and over time you climb the ladder, right? So but that is the mentality I had when I finished my PhD, that I had to start from the lowest. But over time, I got to realize I did not have to. That my PhD was equivalent to about 6 years experience, and that I was in a very good position because of my field that I can actually fly. And so my motivation there was, okay, if I didn't have to start from the bottom, why do everybody who look like me starts from the bottom? Is there a way that I can help them not have to go back and start, whether they're relocating to a new country as an immigrant to come and restart their life on permanent residence, or they're going back to school? How can I help people not start from the bottom? I think the pain point was really what motivated me to say, you know what? People are usually confused, and whoever they meet first when they move is going to shape their career. So if the person they meet first is probably not really savvy about their career path, doesn't know too much, or they've seen a lot of people doing nursing, they're just gonna say, hey, that's what you're gonna do. So I felt like maybe there should be a little bit of voice where we're able to tell people, guide people, help them to actually navigate the new terrains. As everybody know, migration is a key component of our existence these days. People are moving, especially from Africa. People are moving from Africa to other areas. How do we make sure that Africans don't end up at the bottom of the ladder just because we moved and then get depressed in some cases or keep their head down because all of the self-esteem is just lost pretty much. So that's for me the pain point that I felt like I can help with in my own little way. Now, the other thing that makes me feel like I wanted to also start was because I grew up having role models. Two uncles. One of them is the professor of nuclear physics, and another one was a clinical professor. And I idolized them. I had the pictures on the wall of my living room, and everybody probably who have heard about my story probably knew the men on the wall of our living room. But I didn't have access to them, right? I just looked at their pictures. I love their life. I hear their stories, but there was no access. So as I was growing up, I said to myself that I didn't want to be somebody that people idolize, that they take my picture and put it on their phone, but there was no way they could have access to me to tap into my strategies. So I thought maybe if I maybe to mentor people, then maybe that way I would move from being a role model to actually somebody who can have direct impact, share my knowledge, share my strategy to actually help people go further than just being a role model who they just look up to but never have access to. Thirdly, I feel like our community, one thing I know is we just close everything up. We just all the information. And as people get richer, they move away from everybody that is struggling. They go buy a house in a place that is beautiful, that nobody who looks like them can live there. So their knowledge just migrate from that community. Their knowledge migrates away from their people. And I felt like social media gives us an opportunity to actually be able to continue to share with our community because our people need this knowledge because they need to climb the ladder too. So I'm trying to make conscious effort as a person to make sure even if I go higher in my career, even if I get richer for some reason or the other, I want to make sure that I'm still plugged into my community so we can raise more millionaires, we can raise more VPs, we can raise more directors who look like me, who is young, and we can continue to, make it a chain reaction. One person touch two lives, two people touch two people lives, and then we just spread this news of supporting our community and making sure that the rich don't detach themselves from their community. The PhD holders don't they detach themselves. The directors, the VPs don't detach themselves. And you can just notice all the friends you have are white. You don't have anybody anymore that looks like you, and you love that. But pretty much, so those are the three reasons I saw those pain points and consciously thought I could do something about that in my own little way.
That's fantastic because that's why I said this is a thing that I admire about you. And the fact that you don't want to be up there alone, you want to pull people along with you. And a lot of times I admit I've been stalking you all this while on social media and I watch your videos and I see people's comments when they say that they've never really had one-on-one contact with you, but just watching your videos have helped them to make a giant stride in their career, in their part, either be it in the career, in the business, or traveling abroad, just by watching your videos without having like personal contact with you. That's fantastic. Like that impact that you make on people is mind blowing. I know that a lot of people agree with me that you're doing like really fantastic. And I know every time I watch you, you say you're the Deborah of our time, and that's true. Because somebody that decides that I don't want to be there alone, I want to bring people with me. I want to raise giants as well. I don't want to move with ships. I want to move with giants. That is fantastic, and I appreciate that. So the season this is season two of the show, and this time it is tagged moving forward, right? So the main focus of this is on confidence and also on success. And a lot of times people talk about if you're confident, there's a high chance of success. If you're not confident in what you do, then it might diminish the kind of success, or you might not even be successful at that at all. So to you, what does success mean, and how significant is confidence to achieving success?
So since I was a kid, I've always just been so confident. So I don't know where I got it from, but I've been an outspoken kid. I grew up in a home where it was allowed for me to speak my mind. It was allowed for me to have an opinion. It was allowed for me to cry if I needed to. And I wasn't told to toughen up, right? I was told to just express myself as much as I could. I think that really helped me build my confidence. And as a person, I grew up just working hard because my mom is a hard worker. She would wake up early at 3 a.m. So I just work hard because that's all my mom did, right? So I think as I saw the results of my ad work, first, I think when I was in primary three, my grades were so high, and I knew I was studying every night. I was studying every night from 9:30 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. every night, and I could see the implication of my extra work that I put in. I had that belief that my hard work will pay off. But as I also grow older, I realized that if I don't speak up for myself, I'm going to be bullied. Somebody's going to take my seat. Somebody is going to be taller than me. So for that reason, they'll take my seat. Somebody is going to be finer than me. Because of that, they're going to make them Ed girl and not me who actually had the grades. This actually happened to me in, was it secondary school? Where I was supposed to be the Ed girl when it comes to grades. They were going to give it to somebody else because she was beautiful. She represented the image of what an Ed girl looked like. I didn't, and because because over the years, so I found out that you may be very hardworking. You may have all of that. If you lack confidence, you may not get to where you're going. Pretty much, somebody else who is a loudspeaker with more confidence in their presentation is going to gather supports more than you, and they're going to outpace you. They're going to outrun you everywhere. So over time, have learned to be a better communicator. Find a way to say, you know what, I'm not just going to do the work. I'll not be the one who is in the forefront of my work. And in this part of the world, it's very critical for you to be able to express yourself better, for you to learn how to communicate your results better, for you to actually be able to know that, yeah, if I'm not able to do this thing, somebody else is going to have to present the results of the hard work that I do and get glory on those. I feel when it comes to confidence, it is an essential element when we're thinking success, especially when we climb in the ladder. And when you start your career as a junior engineer or something like that, it's okay to keep your head down, right? Like they always tell us to keep your head down. Yeah, junior people should keep their head down. When you are thinking about getting senior roles, you're thinking about getting VP roles, you can't keep your head down anymore. You need that ability. You need that influence. And keeping your head down, not being able to be confident enough to speak up, to present your ideas, to convince a bunch of people about your ideas so that you can gather support, you're not going to go fast. So I believe when we're talking about success, confidence play a part, especially in the North American system, because everything you have to do, you have to gather support. You have to have multiple stakeholders who have said yes to that idea. Imagine presenting an idea at a meeting. What we usually do is meetings before meetings, right? Everybody come in there to vote. You have individual meetings with them. So they hear your ideas. You convince them already so that you have their vote. So when you go into the real meeting, you're so confident about who's going to vote for you. You're so confident because you've repeated the word so many times. They have adjusted, they've critiqued the work before it got public. You're so much confident and you're so much know that you'll get the vote of those people. Success has that confident piece as part of its enemy and element. But I think success really go beyond, I can speak publicly. Your confidence need to be a confidence that becomes a friendly confidence, that people actually like your energy. People actually want to listen to you. People actually agree with what you're saying confidently. Because I have also seen people who are confident who are peer rude. I have seen people who are confident who are saying gibberish. So you cannot just say because you're confident you can speak. You have to know your stuff. Then how do you sell it to people? So there has to be strategic confidence for you to actually succeed, right? So it's not just confidence as a word; it's strategic confidence. That's what I call it because you need a couple of other elements added to your confidence for it to make sense and take you to really where you want to go with success. I hope that makes sense.
That's fantastic. I
I
love
hope
that
that
word.
makes sense.
I'm going to steal that word, strategic confidence. That actually makes sense because a lot of times we've seen people that are really confident. For example, let's say when we're in university, people that are looter and all of that, they say all kinds of nonsense, but they're confident with what they are saying. It doesn't mean that they know what they're saying. So you have to be strategic if you want people to listen to you. And also, sometimes confidence might rub off as you being arrogant, right? So I get what you're saying about being strategic. You have to plan it. You don't want to look arrogant. At the same time, you want to, be firm so that people know that, yeah, you don't mess with this person because they know what they're talking about. And that's really fantastic. And half of my next question you already answered, because my next question was going to be, anybody that knows you already, they can smell the confidence, you can see the confidence around you because you're a very confident Black woman. And I was going to ask you that, did it come naturally to you, or did you have to learn it as a skill? Because some of us may not have been that confident, but we had to learn because we saw that, well, if you're not confident, things are going to pass you by. So I was going to ask you that, is it something that comes naturally, or was it something that you had to learn? And what's your advice for late bloomers, like people that are not confident, they're trying to gather that confidence?
I think for me, I wouldn't say it came natural, but a part of it actually did, right? So, like I said, I'm an extrovert. So my personality is to speak up, is to be nice to people, is to talk, right? But over time, my mom was a confidence teacher. She helped me she helped me to bloom a lot, like blooming. She was there for me. I remember when I was young, my mom used to shower for me in the mornings, and she would tell me different stories that make me felt like when I went to school, I needed to kill it. Right. I feel like how we raise our kids actually really would have effect on how confident they become. Right. I
Yeah.
remember my mom telling me how, for example, our dad gave her handout in an arranged marriage when she was 18, and she wanted to go to school, but she couldn't. She couldn't because she was married early. And she would tell me, the opportunity you have to go to school right now, I didn't have that. If I had that, I probably would be a medical doctor. It's an opportunity. And you cannot go in there and not make the best use of that. I went to school every day feeling like it's a war zone. I need to win this war. I need to
Mhm.
show my grandfather that a girl child can be anything she wanted to do. And those things actually helped me fight for something. I was fighting for something. I had a focus to get to go to school meaningfully, not because somebody wanted me to go. And some of those things helped me to find who I am because I was fighting a lot. I was fighting for, I need to be the best at this because I got an opportunity that my mom didn't get. And over the time, when I come back home, I said, I got bullied by this guy. My mom would teach me how to communicate. How do you diffuse conflict? How do you diffuse conflict but stand your ground? You can't be running away. When you run away, they come back tomorrow to bully you. How do you diffuse conflict? I think those things helped me as I was
Mhm.
growing up to learn from her different scenarios. First, I was very intentional with my school because of her, but different scenarios. So this happened to me. She helps me through those. I think not everybody had those opportunities to talk to their parents openly, and then they get advice. Some people get
Mhm.
shunned, right? Like, like you were fighting. My parents never did that. They coached me on those things, and it just kind of over time, I still get coached right now, not by my mom anymore, by my uncles who are professors. They coach me. They still coach me last weekend. They coach me things. Over the years, I have learned different styles to different places. Every new country that I have gotten to go to, I have tried to do acculturation. What does confidence mean to this country? What are the elements that make you successful in this country? In a workplace, what are some of the things that I'm seeing here that I need to adopt quickly for me to be successful, so that people don't label me the immigrant, the teenage, or some label that I don't want. And everybody needs to
Yeah.
study. You have to study your work environment. Your work environment may be full of maybe people in their 50s, and it may be full of a lot of politics. They may be really laid back. They don't take action like that. And how they communicate ideas. You need to really watch first to really learn How do they communicate ideas? Is it over lunch? Is it over golfing? Is it in a workplace? Is it a fast-paced environment? Is it slow? Do people love
Slow.
graph? Do people love graphs in their presentation? Do that help them come alive and get your idea serious? Do data drive decisions or buy-ins from people? You need to learn those traits because those traits will tell you what are the elements you need to master that will make you successful in that space. For example, when I moved to the US, I realized that the US people are not like Canadians. They're like loud people. They're like Africans. They're friendly. They're loud. If they hate you, they're gonna like tell you that immediately, which was different from what Canada was. People were passive aggressive. Right, in Canada. And the US people were like in your face, pretty much. I needed to quickly learn. All right, it's no longer passive aggression that I'm dealing with here. I'm dealing with somebody who's gonna tell you like straight away how they feel. How do I deal with that? I'm dealing with a different culture. I'm dealing with a different approach in terms of how to deal with things. I think if you're a late boomer, the first thing is that research. Do a research of weight and with your environment, do a research of that so that you can understand what are the elements that are important. If you're trying to build your confidence, I think the first thing to think about is your mindset. I talked about this last night. You need to sit down and ask yourself, what are the things blocking me from doing the things that have researched about? What are those things? Are there, maybe I can't do all of these things. Maybe I can do three out of them. Can I start practicing that first? I think another area that I have really tried to help myself master to help me look confident, sound confident, is using data to drive a lot of my presentations and outcomes. So I would put graphs, I would put different things in my presentations that uses data to drive the things that I want to say. My presentation are not full with words, where people have to read through each note. It's full with pictures, and I talk a little slower so that they can take their time to read those things. So you need to, I think part of confidence is communication. How and communication, and I don't mean speaking English here. I mean speaking the language that people can resonate with. Like I just said, I use graph a lot of my presentation to help people open up and say, "Oh, they're analyzing that thing now." Now that's communicating to them more than I hear
Now
them
let's
speak.
communicate.
Right. So I would do that a little more because I feel like I have an accent and I don't want somebody to not get what I'm trying to say. So I use small pictures to communicate my ideas. And you have to find what works for your company, what works for the environment that you are, and adapt that. And there are so many. So I'm saying this because I don't want you to think confidence will come if you can't communicate properly. And I don't want you to think communication is just about speaking English. The terms and the things you communicate in your company, you may communicate with pictorially, with graphs, you may communicate it with different things, right? So you need to learn what is it that works for me in a way where I can communicate my points effectively across the board. Then how am I communicating it with some level of clarity so people can get it, what I'm trying to say. And that way, automatically, I've passed the confidence check because of the way I communicated appropriately my ideas. And so pretty much, I think that's what for me, that's how I have approached it. It's worked for me. There are different methods. I can talk a bit more to it, but I think I should just probably wait for my next question.
Thank you so much for this. It's really empowering and it actually opens the mind of people. So you know that confidence, sometimes you have to work towards it. You have to do your research. And it doesn't have to be, because a lot of us, we have that problem of thinking that, oh, maybe because of my accent or something like that. You can do all other ways, like pictorially, as you said, graphs, whatever it is that you think would work for you. And then other people can actually get a perfect idea of what you're talking about. So that's really, empowering. Which brings me to my next question. A lot of immigrants do make move towards getting their dream job and career and stuff like that. But because of that confidence, because before they came to this country or wherever country they are, people have told them, oh my God, this is really difficult. There's racism here. You can't get a job, or you don't have Canadian experience or US experience or all of that. So they end up not applying, or when they apply, they don't know how to put pen to paper, you know, put those experiences that they've had in the past and make it relevant in their resume. So in that situation where they apply, they get denied or they are not successful because of no Canadian experience, no US experience. In this situation, like what advice can you give to people in that situation?
Well, I put out a couple of weeks ago, I actually put out the job searching slide that I use on my mentorship program. I put that out. It's on my IGTV. So if you are interested, you probably need to go 3 or 4 IGTV that I've had and you find it there. Why did I put it out? But especially for new immigrants and new recent graduates in Canada, mostly Canada, they would come to me and say, "Oh, I've been in this country for 7 months. I don't have a good job. I've been doing a meaning job." They just do all this complaining that you just talked about. There is a process, a hiring process. You need to know that process. That when you submit your resume, you're not the only person in the pool. Maybe 500 other people are in that pool. An algorithm is used to match you to the job. It's going to generate a match rate. If you don't have the right keywords on your resume, then it's not going to pick you up. You're not going to have match rate over 80%. If you get bounced out from that stage, you've bounced out. If you get to go in, the next stage is a recruiter pick up your resume. And in 6 seconds, you need to confirm that you met the education experience, the work experience. You need to really see some keywords on your resume. You need to check the location you're living in. If you live in Ontario, the job is in Ontario, you're perfect. If they don't want to move anybody and you are in Ambata, they don't want you. If the company don't want to file papers for anyone, right, and you already show that they saw that an African name, so they probably think you don't have papers. So you have to be able to say, "Hey, I have a green card holder, I'm a permanent resident of Canada," something like that to help them know I don't need papers. All of these things, if it's communicated appropriately, you probably get an HR interview, a behavioral interview. If you do well there, then your resume lands on the seat of the hiring manager, who is looking beyond the keywords. So he's looking for some skills and tools that are relevant to the job they want you to do. If you don't have those skills and tools, maybe because you're new to the country, or you just copy all the keywords, you sprinkle it everywhere on your resume, but you didn't know that they're gonna check the skills and tools, and you didn't know anything on that front, you're not gonna get the next interview. I do not think Canadian experience is the problem. I think you need to understand the hiring process. I think you need an evaluation of your own career and say, "Hey, my career that I'm bringing from Nigeria, will that sell in Canada, right? Will that sell completely in Canada? If it will not sell in Canada, every experience, every skills, every education that I've gathered, can I transfer that over to another career 100%? If it's not transferable 100%, should I upskill, learn 25% new skills? And then once I combine it with everything I have, I can pivot to another career, or I will be able to now enter my career in Canada." In some cases, you have to for example, the law people, when you come to Canada, you have to do like a regularization process for almost 18 months or 2 years before you can enter your field. If you're coming as an engineer, you probably need to regularize yourself too. There could be some reskilling, there could be some upskilling. You need to be preparing for that before you leave that country of yours. Because if you're not preparing for that, you're going to come the way you are. It's not good enough for Canada. Remember, there's an 80% match rate when your resume passes through the applicant tracking system. You're not going to meet 80. You're going to be sitting at 40. And people need to know that this has nothing to do with Canadian experience. It has to do that from one country to the other, the requirement for the same job may be different. The keywords used may be different. How you call it lorry, somebody else call it truck. If you put lorry in your resume and they're looking for the word truck, the algorithm is looking for the word truck, is not going to pick your resume. Somebody needs to look at your resume and say, "This country is called truck." Somebody needs to look at your resume and say, "Hey, your match rate is low." Or somebody needs to look at your resume and say, "You don't have the skills and tools that will catch the attention of the hiring manager." This is what the industry wants. I think oftentimes immigrants don't consider all of those processes. We just come the way you are. Can a lawyer come from Nigeria and just expect to get a job? Why does an engineer want to get a job without getting any skills? Why does an engineer want to get a job without thinking, what does Canada want from me? Why does that process engineer, that other person that's HR, wants to get a job without wanting to know, what does this country want? Okay, what if the career you are bringing in is only going to pay you peanuts here because it's not lucrative? I see, for example, public health, they have health promotion. Health promotion is a big deal in Nigeria. If you're doing public health in Nigeria, you're doing health promotion, you'll make a lot of money. Africa is a hub for AIDS. Everybody's giving us AIDS for health, AIDS for this. So they need people to help us promote those AIDS, make it distributed properly, help our people learn different health terminologies and things like that. So health promotion is good there. In North America, nobody's giving anybody any aids, no handouts. You work for your money. So if you come here as a public health that you're doing health promotion back home, you may have to think about another area of public health that will sell in North America. The same field, this different focus. So you can't just want to push health promotion on people's neck in Canada. That's what you want to do. Maybe we could look at another career path within the same career path, another area for you to pivot into, because that's what is selling in Canada. The question to any immigrant is, have you considered those things? Have you thought it through? Before you leave your country, 6 months minimum, you need to talk to a career coach, get all your skills aligned, get an understanding of what they call things, get an understanding of, will I pass through all of these processes? If you need to reskill, it has to be clear so that you can already start the reskilling process. If you need to upskill, it has to be clear. If there's none of that needed, they have to already transfer your resume over. We need to already think about the career paths that will pay you better. All of those things has to be done. You can't just say it's Canadian experience. I always say, I have had several new immigrants coming to Canada. They didn't have any kind. Some of them will get a job before they leave Nigeria. No, that I said, doctor, they say I should start on Monday. I've not left. Yeah, why did you tell them? You cannot tell them I've not left. Now I already have my PPR and everything. I'm just trying. COVID is delaying things. Why am I telling you this? There's so many people who have gotten straight six-figure jobs with no Canadian experience. They don't have two heads. What have they done right? They put their money where their mouth is. You can't do your way through an individual process. You have your own degree, you have your own special work experience, you have your own things. You cannot go to Google and type your situation in there, except if you want to go to Reddit. Go to Reddit and say, this is me, I'm 35, I have 3 years of experience, I did business analysis, and then I did business development. And maybe somebody will now give you advice that is particularly for you. But you want to use Google that is tailored to everybody to solve your own problem? I don't think it's solvable. I don't think it's, that's why I always say, so our community, we don't want to invest one kobo in career coaching. We would rather go and get another certification because somebody tells us that's what is selling. You are studying English. You want to go and get business administration, business analyst certification. Your education requirement is off. Is that the right one for you? I think this is pretty much what is hindering a lot of new immigrants to actually be able to move forward. Maybe they have to change their career to something else. Maybe we need to change the industry lingo from the Nigerian stuff into the Canadian one. Or maybe we actually have to pivot completely from their career. But they need to go talk to a career coach. You want to talk to somebody that works in that company. Maybe they can help you. I've heard, I had a session today, and one of my mentors said, but the party is let's be honest with ourselves. Nigerians don't help one another. If you want a Nigerian said they will refer you, they will lie to you that they have referred you. Nigerians don't want other Nigerians to come and work in their company. So if you want to depend on Nigerian to give you references, you are sitting on a long team. If a white person doesn't know you, they haven't worked with you, they cannot refer you. And nobody will refer you if you don't have the right skills and tools on your resume. The first thing is not to be looking for referral. The first thing is to understand what career space should I be stepping into, what are the skills needed for that. Go get that first before you are looking for long leg. Long leg doesn't work in this situation. Do long leg works? Absolutely. I got my current job without even buying. The word headhunted me. Come and work here. Why? Because there were people within the company who have heard me spoke. The CEO of the company have heard me spoke before. People have heard me speak in the past. So because they have, they could say, Addy will be good for the job. We don't know if she needs a new job. Can I go and convince her to come and work for us? Yeah, okay, go and convince her and see whether she wants to work for us. I have a lot of things. Digital thread. I have, if you Google my name, you see so many things. Who knows you? What's your reputation? I have a TED talk on 3D printing. It's out there. If somebody Google me, they'll see that. I have things that can make people say, I think this is a good candidate. You have nothing online. Your digital thread is empty. Nothing online. Nobody knows you. And then you think referral is going to work for you. You're not ready for that. You need to first build that. You need to first build credibility within the community. So you can't be a new immigrant and be trying to use referral. It works in some cases. If the Nigerian is great, the person wants to refer you, but if your resume is empty, there's nothing in it, they'll not give you that job. I think the first steps are just always the first steps. Get help. Don't go and be talking up and down. They'll say, I'm gonna be networking. The person who wants to network, maybe they're even struggling. They don't even know what they're doing too. You want to go and join the struggling networking team? Go get your own career coach. Let them sit down with you, tell you your situation, tell you what you should do. Then you have a sense of direction. At least you know what you should go get. You know what you should go do. It is clear to you how much you're going to make when you do that. How many jobs? Then there is nobody can change your mind at that point. They cannot just wake up and say, go and do nothing. You don't know, I don't want nothing. This why I know that if I do all the steps, I'm going to get there. So my suggestion to you, if you're on here, you're a new immigrant, you're or a new graduate, or you want to change a career, or you're just not sure what you want to do with your life, get a help. Get a career coach. Don't sit down thinking about your life. Pay for that, because you pay for certification. Before you pay for the next certification, pay for that. So they can tell you whether that next certification is actually important or it's not, or it's something else completely that you should have been doing. Pay for that and do it early. With the first career coach that I got, I paid $3,750 for 90 minutes.
Wow.
By the time I finished, she helped me a lot, but I also thought, I know more than this person. Yeah, I finished. I'm like, what the hell? I know more than this person, but it gave me some sort of sense of direction. It was more on the mindset coaching than it was on career. And I'm like, yo, I could do that for anybody, right? But I needed some sort of sense of direction at that point. I got it. When I was looking for my first job, I got help. Every step of my career, I've always had help, and that's how I have been able to move fast. And I've never always gone to somebody that doesn't, okay, I'm just joining here. I'm not figuring it out with anybody that doesn't know where they're going. I'm figuring it out with a senior. Maybe when I wanted to be a director, my mentor at that time, I had two mentors. One of them was an executive director. The other one was a director who also had a PhD, who was female, she's worked in my shoes. You could tell me the strategy. She said, she didn't become a director until she was working for 18 years. She said, I want you to get to a director quick. I don't want you to make the mistakes I made. And she was able to lay things out. I was in this country, America, 2 years, boom, director, boom.
Wow.
Because I had the right guidance. I wasn't trying to figure it out on my own and crying through it. I got help. I got the strategy all laid out, all our mistakes shared with me. I was just flying, pretty much. Okay, I'll shut up there.
That's fantastic, because at the end of the day, that's where mentorship comes in, and having a career coach. I know with a lot of Nigerians, it's not something that is native to us. We always try to figure out things by ourselves. Oh, what does that person know? Or they say something like, oh, I know her. We went to the same uni. She used to, things like that. The thing is, you have to acknowledge that people, if they're in a position, they're already there. It doesn't matter what their past was. If you need help, you have to go to them and ask for that help. And if need be, pay for it. As you said, it's very difficult for Nigerians to put hands in their pocket if it's not free or if it's not covered by the government, to pay for career coaching, to pay for mentorship or things like that. And that's why our mindset has to change. If you have somebody that has that to offer, that can guide you in the right direction, put your money where your mouth is. Like, it's very important. I was going through Instagram this morning and I saw that you had a boot camp coming up, which is just $100 for 2 days, I guess. Or I don't know if it's different session for the 2 days, but about visual board. And I'm thinking, of course, like that's really good. Like, I'm sure if they wanted to see you one on one, that would have been a whole lot more. So things like this, we have to take advantage of it. At the end of the day, we'd rather go to some white person. No hate here, no problem about with other races, but people would prefer to pay money to a white man that would not really tell you something that is peculiar to your situation, to your condition or situation as a black person, as an immigrant. They will pay $5,000. They won't even bat an eyelid and they will pay. But people that are from your community that have worked through the steps that you're about to walk through, that can give you an idea and are even charging less, they wouldn't pay. So I don't know how that mindset is, but I am praying for us Nigerians, especially those of us that are coming up now, to take advantage of all these resources out there. So thank you so much for putting that out there and for what you do. So now you've been in this position where you've been at the top and you're getting things done because you're following the right steps. At the same time, as a Black woman in a tech industry, I'm so sure you would have gone through a lot of challenges. How were you able to face that challenges on your way to the top? And what are the strategies that you use to navigate to this point?
So I would tell you, it's been a journey. My current job is amazing. I love my job. I don't have any problem. Everything just goes well. Some days I'm like, I hope I don't jinx it. This is too good to be true. The previous job I had was bad. It was horrible. How did I navigate that? I had the right mentors. I had the right sponsors. Oh, I told you I had a lady who had a PhD, was a director. She was my mentor. And then I had a bigger mentor assigned by a bigger person within the company who was the executive director. These people promoted the heck out of my career. They were the people at the big tables. So my name was getting mentioned in the right rooms. My impact, the work I did, were being mentioned in the right room. Within less than a year plus that I joined a Fortune 500 company, I was winning a US national award, like for manufacturing, which was what I was doing, right? Because I had the right sponsors who had visibility to my work. There were mentors that I converted to sponsors. How do you convert your mentors to sponsors? So I looked at what they're passionate about. Oh, this person is passionate about giving back. I'm going to join an organization they really love. I'm going to go make impact there. Now I have added to their life. Or older people don't know some tech stuff. I'm going to help them navigate that. Oh, this person has, you have to not just say, my mentor, I just go there, I just get from them. I get from you, but I give to you. That was my strategy to convert my mentors to sponsors. So every hard situation, these people were ready to put themselves on the line for me. They were ready to do anything to make sure that nobody cheated me, my situation goes well, I'm recognized for my work, nobody's trying to take my seat for the things I develop. They were right out there. So I feel like, for you to navigate properly, you cannot walk alone. It's impossible to do that. You can't just keep your head down. They said, oh, there is team building activities. They're going golfing. I don't know how to play. You carry your golf back there, follow them. Because if they're discussing promotion on the golf course, they're going to forget you because you're not nearby. You have to be there. They're going to the pub. Oh, I'm a Christian. No, you got to get, we're going there. We're going to go. We're going to have to go. If it's lemonade that I'm drinking, I will be there with them. Right. So we have to look at what is your strategy to get buy-in anywhere you go, to get people to be comfortable around you, and to get people to actually give you credit for the work you're doing. And in some cases, getting credit for the work you're doing may be having multiple stakeholders being involved, right? Every project I have led, I'll make sure the right leaders know that I'm the one doing that project. Even before I start, I'll come and ask you what's your opinion. I want to do this project. This is what I want to put together. This is the strategy. This is what I'm planning. I'm wondering whether that could have some contribution to your team. Before I get it done, I already told you. When I got it done, I'm sharing it with you. So nobody is coming tomorrow and say they develop it, right? So I think it is critical that you as a person kind of think about yourself and say, okay, how do I navigate this terrain? What is the state of this terrain? Is politics the order of the day here? Or ageism? Everybody is older, and then my father's age, for that reason, they think I'm too young to lead. How do I align myself in such a way that they start to understand that she may be a lot young to lead, but she's first of all, she's smart. Two, you cannot touch her. She has powerful people who are watching over her. You cannot touch her. You cannot take her role from her. You need to depend on the environment you are. You need to build your strategy for navigation, your strategy for doing the things you have to do. And I would tell you, I do mentorship because I have had great mentors. I have had great mentors who had shown me like this is the path, and I have won because of their strategy. And I feel like everybody else deserves that. Everybody else does. If you do not get that, how the hell do you expect me to be a director? I wouldn't have. Without Lisa Farrell, I would not have. Without the other person, I wouldn't be a director. I'm telling you. This woman and this other man, they mentor the heck out of me. So I'm emphasizing what that could mean for your career, especially when you are in tough situations. These people have passed through it. These people would see through racism. They would see through other issues, and they would be able to say, this has happened before. This happened to me. This happened to me because I'm a woman. So that's what it's happening to you again. So I'm going to go and tell them it can't happen. Or this is how I navigated the situation when it happened to me. So I feel like my mentors, they've been like extremely important when I had to navigate tough situations. The other thing is just making sure I'm always present for activities that are non-work related. The third one is always getting visibility to my work beyond my manager. What if my manager doesn't like me that much? But if like 5 other managers are aware of my work and they know there is a mentor that is powerful, everybody just, you cannot cover my work. Even if as a manager you don't like me, if 5 other people know about that work. Also, one thing that really, really helped me, again, it's a brag document. I call it a brag document. So these are some of the things I give to people on my mentorship program. A brag document. So you are, for example, you are new to that role. Maybe you just got promoted or you just got into a new job. Not everybody within the company actually know your educational background. They probably don't really have a full picture of what you bring to the table in terms of skills, tools, and competence. Also, they probably don't know the full picture of what your role is. And what I did, every new role that I got, I'd have a brag document. I'll set a 15 minutes meeting with all the stakeholders, the young, the middle, the executives, and explain I'm originally Nigerian. I've been to 23 countries. I've lived in 4 countries. I speak this amount of languages. These are the best things that I love. These are some things that I'm learning. And I went to this school. By the way, I have a PhD. And I have this other degree, and then I have that other degree. That is me telling you a bit about me. I want you to feel relaxed around me. I want you to feel like I'm not a stranger. That you actually know me to some extent. So I'll tell you a bit about me, my background, and whatnot. Then I move on to tell you in this company, this is my role specific. In the next 6 months, I'm going to do this, this, this. Why? Because if you have resources that can help me, I want you to be able to push to me. Number 2 is what are the skills and competence that I bring to the table? You don't know my background. So I'm going to tell you, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, I could do that. I already told you what I'm doing for the next 6 months. I already told you the skills that I need, I have. And I'm going to ask you if you ever need my skills on any project, well, I'll be happy to help, and we can convince my manager for me to be able to support your team. Now, that person, if they go to a meeting and the company is looking for the skills that I have, they'll be the one saying, Addy can do that. Do you know Addy can do that? She has a PhD on that. Oh, did you know like Addy can do that? I know she can do that. She has that skills. Because now they know me more than me just being introduced and say, we have a new hire. You join a new department. In some cases, you've even been there for a while. And I feel like when you don't do these things, people will know what meetings to invite you to, except your manager said so. But when people know what you bring to the table, you don't wait for your manager's permission. People start to say, I invite Addy to that meeting. Invite Addy to that meeting. Addy can be the right person for us on that topic because now they're exposed to what you bring to the table. And sometimes immigrants will say, they don't invite us to things. We are isolated from everybody else. They don't know what you have. They don't know what you can offer. So how are they supposed to invite you to the meeting if they don't know that that's what you did your MSc thesis on? That you could actually help that solve that problem, but that's not what you're doing for the company. But you actually have that skills. I think it is critical that a lot more stakeholders than your manager have a good idea of what your resume look like, what your projects that you're working on within the company look like. It is critical. So when you ever go to ask for help, they know that you're doing that, they want to help you. If somebody is talking about that project, they'll say that's Addy's project. She's actually developing that. So nobody else can take your glory because a lot of people know you're the one who were doing that job. Even your manager cannot take your glory. So if peradventure, let's say your manager is the one who just always wants to be the one presenting the result. Everybody already know you did the work because they already know that's what you're doing. You can't just sit in a place and say, yeah, the maltreating me is just tough in this tech industry. No, there is a strategy to winning in those areas. You need to learn those strategies. So more people, you get more buying, you get more influential within the company, and then you get a ask to help on a lot of other things. And the more you help other people, the better outcome. People will start to tell your manager nice things like, Addy's so awesome. Jump me on that project. Oh my God, I was struggling with these things for 6 months, but Addy did this thing in like 2 weeks. It's done because more people know your competence. So I would say these are some of the strategies that I have used. I have tons of them. I can speak about strategy to navigate tough situation for so long, whether it's mentorship, whether it's really getting buying. So what I just explained right now is how to build your network within the company, how to build, we talk about influence. That's how to build it. People need to know what you bring to the table so they can start to invite you to things. Then you start to deliver good results. Now people know you as an expert in a couple of areas. They know you're efficient in those areas. Even if your manager don't like you, other people know what you bring to the table. Now your manager don't have a choice when it comes to promotion because he or she alone cannot have a say because other people you've contributed to their project, they'll also have a say on, what you should earn, how you should be appreciated. And honestly, some of these things that I have learned that I have been using, I tell you, I wouldn't have gone any further if I didn't know some of these things. So this is just one. There are so many different strategies. And this is why I keep emphasizing you need help. Don't just stay there working until 9 p.m. every day. Just say you're working hard. Who knows you're working hard? You're only doing one person's project. Another thing is the type of project you get involved in. Sometimes people get involved in projects that have very little visibility, very little importance to the company. And then they're complaining that nobody is promoting them, nobody's recognizing them. You need to find projects that are important to the company and want to push yourself to be a part of that project because the company wants to know updates in that project regularly. And if you happen to make a good impact on that project, the company will recognize you. It'll be easy for you to get awards. It'll be easy for you to get promoted. It will be easy for you to ask for more money. You can't just lock yourself up doing this mini project that nobody really cares about and expect miracle to happen that somebody's going to clap for you. Nobody cares about the project in the first place. So, yeah, I think I'll stop there. Thank you.
That's so fantastic. And the nuggets you just gave now, it's golden because the truth is, I've been in situations in past jobs where the manager would bring deadline, and I'm really good with deadline. I will work my ass off to do something, and then once that is done, I'm not in the manager's meeting when the manager is going to present. Oh, by the way, we finished this project on time, and it was like we had it last week, and now we're done, and all of that. So when we are at a town hall and they're recognizing people, they will recognize my manager, and it will get on my last nerve. I'll be so mad because at the end of the day, nobody knows me. Nobody knows that I was behind the entire project. So the way you said it, like strategize, make sure that you have your brag, your brag, like everybody, every stakeholder, you can show them that this is what you can do. And that's something that I will take to the grave with me because now I realize that nobody really cares about you if you don't show yourself, if you don't show what you are. And I think it also has to do with like our native, or should I say our culture, where everything you have to keep your head up. Because the truth is, when I'm doing something, I never say I did it. I say we did it because I don't want to seem selfish, right? So I'll be like, oh yeah, so my department, and it's just two of us in my department, by the way, but I say my department because I don't want them to think that I'm trying to belittle my manager. So, and I don't want them to think that we are not, I don't have a team spirit. But then it ends
I
up coming back
led,
to
I
bite me in
led.
the ass.
This is the word I led, I developed, I
Yeah,
managed, I created. It is yours.
exactly.
If you say you led
Exactly.
it doesn't mean you did it alone. Right.
Hmm.
You led it, other people contributed. I think we should learn to just comfortably take credit for our work, and it's okay. I led it. How about that?
That's golden. I'm taking that.
Or I
I'm
managed
taking
it, or I directed it, or something.
exactly.
When you use the word develop or created, you have to take total ownership that nobody else contributed. When you
Hmm.
use the word led, manage, it shows that, okay, I got some help as part of it, but I was the one who was directing how this is going to end up, right?
Exactly. That's fantastic. So my final question for you is, how do you feel like when mentees come to you and they share, that they've leveled up and or they've secured the bag, like you always say? How do you feel like when you hear this result from your mentees?
Well, some like my mentorship program. Sometimes I'm a therapist, right, where I sit you down to help you shun that imposter syndrome or something that is keeping you from moving forward. Because I always get it. I always notice it once I start to talk to you that something is holding you down. No matter how much work I put into this person, we are not going to move forward. I could spend time counseling some people to help them get out of their shell, to help them banish imposter syndrome, or teach them strategies to ease stress if they've been stressed. So or even like pray with people, like literally be praying on the program. And we still do mentorship, which is career focused, but sometimes I have to go extra miles because everybody's situation is different.
Mhm.
And I always just I know the strategy work, but people have to put in the work for us to see the outcome, right? Every time somebody wins, I go on my knees and thank God. Some days I just cry. Other days I'm jumping up and looking for my husband to tell him, "Oh, this person." He's like, "Okay, who is the person?" He doesn't even know. I just feel like this is what I live for. This is what why I'm here. I last weekend we lost Virgil. Virgil Abloh is from Chicago here. He died here in Chicago, and it shook the world. Virgil died in Chicago. He was born here, was raised in Chicago, and this guy went ahead to do good to everybody. And I was reading several lives he had touched, people that he had looked at and make them felt like he was rooting for them, people that he had helped navigate their careers, people who are his friends, people who have even never met him, where it had huge impact. And I told myself, I said, maybe I'm going to be the vigil of the African community, right? Like, he's African, he's from Ghana, and he went and touched
Mhm.
everybody's lives. Maybe I'm not going to be able to touch everybody, but maybe my community will know me. That when I was here, when I died, that when I was here, thousands of lives, because my story broke out in 2017. And since 2017, over 2,000 people have relocated out of Nigeria. Some of them have not seen me before. Most of them have not seen me before. Some of them just read my story.
Mhm.
Some of them never actually come to talk to me. They just I remember one feature on University of Saskatchewan's page that this guy is currently in University of Saskatchewan said is from Ibadan. He just read my story in Punch newspaper in Nigeria. And he looks at the school, University of Saskatchewan. He went and applied to that school. He got in.
Wow.
And it's doing very well. So the school featured him in the article. And then he mentioned my name. And then the school tagged me. And people are like, where's this school? Where's my own University of Saskatchewan? And then I saw, and several people were tagging me. So I went and read that. And I had to start to look for the guy and say, hey, who is the guy? And that
Mhm.
is how I want to leave. That is the legacy I want to leave. And know that my life became a light for others to see, became a light for others' paths to open, became a light for other people to just shoot to the sky I think that's the legacy I want to leave. So whether they are like on my mentorship program, or whether they've just listened to my YouTube video, or they just read my story and make a move, I just want to make sure that there is an impact that I have made. That when people would mention my name when I died, they'd say, Addy, Dr. Addy, she was here. And she really was here because she made a huge impact. I think sometimes people leave for money, people leave for their children, people leave for different things. That is what I want to be known for. That is what I did for my community. Help them find liberation. Help them think that the impossible is actually possible for people who look like us. And so far, it's surreal, yeah, right? Like it's overwhelming to literally be taking people to like triple their salary, to double their salary, taking people from a place of I don't know what I'm doing to a place of yeah, I'm a boss now, doc. I'm a boss. Or the last year, December, I became a director. And this year, about 5 people became directors of my program. So some people just say, hey, doctor, you remember the boot camp, all the mentorship, the vision board boot camp, all the things you share with us. Boom, director. I've seen that. One of my mentees, I became a director in December. In March, he became a director. Boom. You know, the fact that he saw, he said, so I could do that?
Wow.
I could do that? I'm ready for a director role. I'm going to apply. He got it. And that is really why I do what I do. So that somebody else will start to think of them that they're ready. Somebody else will start to think and say, if a Nigerian can be buying all these houses, we cannot just let the Indians home Brampton. If they own
Exactly.
right, like okay, it's ownable. We too can do that. And I'm thankful for yeah, I tell you this, it's scary. When people come on my mentorship program, it's personalized. Sometimes I share a lot about myself, about what I'm going through, what about my own strategies. And sometimes I'm scared to do that. Well, it's paying off for people. When I come and tell you all these things on social media, sometimes I'm like, God, help me. I'm like, help. But one thing that I know for sure is that for sure, when somebody else see that story, because of that, they're gonna go think about, I think I can buy a house. In this country, yeah, somebody that's not living in this Canada. It's still, yeah, I'm working on my own strategy. Somebody else is going to be motivated. Somebody else is going to know it's possible for them. And I'm thankful. I'm thankful for the kind of community that we've built on social media where we're so comfortable with one another. It's like my little family that I'm rooting for. I really do enjoy it. And thank you for asking that question. I think I could go on and on. I love success stories, especially for Africans. We've been at the bottom of the ladder of innovation forever. We've been the race that people just pity us. And I think we're ready to change that. And I think if only this group of people are the ones I'm able to make sure that they're not getting pitied for the job they get. They're not getting pitied for promotion. And they know they're worth enough to get exactly their worth or even more. I think I'll be happy that I help us shift the pay gap a little bit forward because they're not going to be underpaid in their career. They're not going to be pitied and they're not going to be seen as the timid, they're intimidated because they will come fully loaded with the right skills and they will speak with confidence and really show that Africans can do it too. We may be a little late to the table, but we will do our own portion too. Thank you.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Dr. Addy. And I would say thank you for being the bearer of good news. Because for a lot of people that are coming into the country, they come with that mindset because people that have been in this country for so long have been telling them they can't do it. Oh, it will take you like 10 years. Do you know how long it took me to be able to get that? It took me 15 years. Well, that's your problem. You've already gone through that process. Why do you want other people to still go through 15 years before they can get there? Like you said, your mentor, the woman, had 18 years before she became a director. And she said, I don't want you to have to go through that one. I want you to go fast. That's the mindset that we need to have, not just as Africans, but as Nigerians, that you have to be able to pull other people up with you because at the end of the day, it's lonely at the top if you're there by yourself. So thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate you. I'm sure that a lot of people will go back to watch this, especially those that joined late. We appreciate it. And thank you so much, everybody that joined. We love you. Next Sunday, I'm going to be bringing another guest. You know how we do it. This week, it will be a lot of Sundays because a lot of my guests don't have the chance on a Saturday. So we're gonna have to, get used to that for now. But January, we will be going back to Saturday. So thank you so much, Dr. Addy. We've gathered a lot. I will also be going back to watch all of this and, put pen to paper and take notes as to, what to do with my career going forward in 2022. And fantastic time. I really enjoyed myself. I can't believe it's more than an hour. It was supposed to be 30 minutes, but every part of it, I feel like this is something that we could have paid for, but we're getting it free of charge. So I appreciate that. And that will bring us to the end of this. If anybody needs to ask any questions, Dr. Addy, you can check out, I think it's Dr. Olubamiji on Instagram. You can ask questions. And if you want to read more about our guest, in the description, you would see a bio there. And you can watch this, share it with your friends and family. And that is what going out today. And we'll see you again next week.